How's it going, beautiful people from all corners of the globe? It is I, Jay. You might be familiar with me. You might not. Either way, thank you for deciding to click on this video. I wanted to make an announcement, but prior to the announcement, I'll give you a little bit of information. I, at the age of 23, have decided to give school a chance because I went through a quarter life crisis, as you may call it. And I figured, I needed to reinvent myself because there's a stark contrast between my external environment and my internal environment. And I believe that novelty, being in a new environment, particularly an academic environment, where my beliefs would be challenged, where I would have discourse with perhaps opposing beliefs, and constantly filling my brain with, academic discourse would be beneficial. So, as someone who never liked doing homework my whole life, fuck it, I said I'm gonna go to school. So, in about a month or so, I will begin my first semester of college. And I dropped out 5 years ago. I didn't give school a chance originally because I was class of 2020. If you know, you know. But yeah, so what this is right here, basically this setup here is what will be the foundation for something long standing. Eventually, as it gets better, we'll upgrade our setup. But simply put, I'm starting a podcast, guys. The name of the podcast, The Gift of Gab. I'm pretty good at talking, as I've been told a lot throughout my life, and I have a way with words, which I've also been told. When I was a kid, I was quite the grammar nerd. I would watch shows like Martha Speaks, Super Y, Word Girl, if you're familiar. And so naturally, I liked words. There was always a fascination with it. When I was in second, third grade, I would quite literally try to discover the biggest words that I can use in a sentence as a second, third grader. I liked reading dictionaries, like real shit, looking through dictionaries and looking through thesauruses or ironic, right? I don't know how to say it, but I always loved words and I always had a way of articulating myself. And I was always a very introspective child, mature for my age, though that comes with caveats. It isn't always necessarily a result of good things, but I was mature for my age. I always paid attention to the world around me, and I had a rich internal environment, which led to me questioning things. And the more you question things internally, the more you think about things, and the more you think about things, the better you are at saying the things that you think about. Most people are terrified of speaking. In fact, the number one fear of in America is public speaking. People are scared of being perceived. People are scared of potentially saying something dumb in front of crowds of people, which I find it to be quite hilarious because they're literally going to forget about you. Like, nobody's going to carry that stuff a week from now, right? You stuttered, okay. They'll laugh. And then they go home and they take a shit just like every human being, and they go to sleep and they wake up and they forget about it. Anyways, speaking is, like I said, is the number one fear. And despite the whole thing that I'm doing, my gift of gab and me speaking, for most of my life I was incredibly shy. I was scared of speaking, despite having all the tools to excel in that field. I just didn't have the confidence in myself. And so, after going through several arcs of unraveling my identity and discovering new layers of myself through existential journeys and psychedelics and spirituality and whatnot, and I've been led here. Those are topics for other episodes, but I'm here now. And so what I want to do with this Gift of Gab podcast is talk. But naturally, as someone who has, well, I'm self-diagnosing myself, but a hint of ADHD and perhaps a hint of autism, which when combined together form quite the hybrid, almost like Voltron? Megazord? I don't know, something like that, right? Naturally, my mind goes in a lot of different places, and I have lots of interests. And in fact, one of my hobbies is actually picking up hobbies. So I will go down an entire rabbit hole of studying extensively about a particular thing, whether an anime or a thing about science, and learn everything about it, learn the ins and out of it so that I can explain it to my friends randomly while eating potato chips. And then I'll just forget about it and then pick something else up. So naturally, I like to talk about different things, and I have many interests, and I would consider myself an interesting individual, and you'll probably get to see more of that as we move along with this and I continue to upload. But the Gift of Gab podcast is an overthinkers podcast where a young man shares his thoughts, an aspiring warrior poet. I'm a man of many characteristics. I wouldn't just put myself in a box. This episode is just an introduction. I want to be a lot more organized with it, like know what the fuck I'm gonna talk about and shit, and have set topics so that I can speak extensively and coherently and cohesively. I'm good at this word thing, aren't I? But yeah, this is just a brief introduction. I don't have much else to say. Just those who see potential value, invest early. Investing in this channel is like 2009 Bitcoin type shit. Oh man.